We are recording now. Hello, everybody. Feng Shui Friday with Brenny, and I got my buddy Catherine Wilkins.
Good morning.
To assist me. Okay, we're going to start live on Facebook. Good morning, Facebookers. Hello, everybody. It's Feng Shui Friday, and it's Brenny here. I guess I could put my video on if you really want to see me. So today we are talking about clutter, and I want to make sure you can grab your slides for the presentation. And if you don't have them right now, that's fine. You can always find them on this link here. It's momentumu.online, Feng Shui Friday. Oh, come on, reconnect Facebook. Don't you do this? Don't you love technology, Catherine?
Love technology. My favorite.
I put it live on Facebook because I like the interaction with people. But this is what happens when you want to jump on Zoom, because we do live and you can interact with us. The recording always goes up, but I like to do it live from Facebook. So I'm going to let Catherine talk for a minute while I try to reconnect this.
Good morning. Good morning. Clutter. It seems to be a bad word these days. Everybody kind of shudders when they hear the word clutter, but it's accumulation of our old habits, and it often harbors things like emotional clutter, mental clutter, memorabilia. Some of these things we're saving are raged with guilt or predecessor chi or some of these things, and clutter actually is now one of the biggest things to deal with in our society. We've gone through different generations of depression. We don't have anything, and then we went through one of these materialistic series through the 80s and 90s, prompted by the credit cards, I must say. But there's a comfort in knowing that you can take charge. You can make a decision, right? I want to buy that. I like that pretty sparkly thing. I need new shoes. I need. And advertising and consumerism has prompted us all to, if we fit into society, to make these purchases and surround ourselves with all kinds of stuff. So now
so we're live on Facebook. We're going to try that again, besides my volume getting shut off by this unique.
Oh, you didn't get that?
Well, the recording is on. Guys, this is what I do is I record on Zoom, and that's where you can come on live and participate with us, like Catherine's on here, and get your questions answered. She's a Feng Shui expert. So you have two people. She pops in, and I have other experts popping in. So this is how you get your questions answered directly. Otherwise, we're watching it on Zoom, which I'm also, or Facebook Live, which I'm also recording. So you have two recordings. And when you're on Facebook Live, guys, you can put comments in and share this out for others that want to see this great information. So I asked her to come on because she understands Feng Shui, and if I forget something, then she can throw in her 2 bits. And it's challenging recording Zoom and recording on Facebook Live and following comments, and especially when we get lots of people. I've had, hundreds of people on calls and trying to answer questions and watch everything. But that's what wood elements do. Our branches are everywhere. So guys, I'm gonna take my little sip of coffee. So I always put together slides because I like pretty things and I like checklists, and I like to go back and look at information. And I want people to be able to just focus on this and not be taking notes. When you take notes, you tend to miss a whole lot of stuff. It's kind of the clutter overwhelm going on in your brain.
Exactly.
So here we have, and this link is for the Feng Shui Friday. You can always go there and watch all the shows. Catherine has a show on there, and that's where you can download the links and everything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, but first I want to do a right click so it opens up. Okay, guys, thanks for popping in on Facebook. Make sure to share it out and say hi. Okay, open in a new tab. Yes, please. I guess I still have the music playing. That's how I handle stress a lot of times, music, beautiful sophageo frequency music. Okay, so this is the Feng Shui Friday page. If you're not signed up, for a newsletter, you get this drop down, and I send out 1 newsletter a week. I don't like bombarding people because I give you the tips and the links to be able to come back and find things.
Yes.
So this is what the Feng Shui Friday page looks like. And today's show number 9. Woo! What a great number!
Good number.
So I want you to be aware that the Zoom link is the same, and the Facebook is the same for every show. So you can just click on those, and it'll take you right to the Feng Shui tribe page. And then here's, you want to jump on Zoom, so you don't have to remember links and look for stuff. Now, if you haven't downloaded your Bagua map, you can just click on this and follow it, because where your clutter is where your stuck energy is. I love to have my students look at where their clutter is in their bedroom, in their overall house, and if they have an office, in their office or where they sit a lot. And it tends to be in the same place, and that is where their issue is. So let's say it's relationships. Well, they just keep, you know, not getting relationships or getting the incorrect relationships because the energy is heavy and it's old energy, and it really depends on what you have in that clutter also. Let's say you're having a problem bringing money in. Well, I have many students with that issue, and they either have an incomplete Bagua, the energy is missing completely, or all their clutter is in the wealth sector of their home, of their bedroom. And we know the bedroom's the most important area if you follow me, because you need restful sleep. And if you don't get sleep, let me tell you, you got a wood element, generator in human design, and I'm telling you, Taurus, throw a Taurus and an ox in there and the horns go up. It's like, what? Snapping.
You
like
and me
wood.
both.
Yeah, we're really fun because we are both the same. We're oxes or Taurus, we're generators, and we're wood elements. So it's fun because when I see how she works and I work the same way, and it's like, oh, that's why my students are. She's over here in this branch, and then she thought of something and went over there. That's why I got a lot of metal, though, and I don't think Catherine has as much metal as I do.
I don't.
So anyway, guys, to get these great slides I'm going through, you can just go click here, and then you're going to get the slides. You can just click on it. The Bagua map, I would like you to get that and follow along. So let's get popping. Or hopping or whatever. Okay, so here we are, and we're going to talk about clutter got you stressed. If you release the mess, you release the stress.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! And guys, I love release because I learned from Bob Proctor 20 years ago that the universe abhors a vacuum. So when you lose something, like I start releasing weight because I don't want to find it again.
Yes.
Okay, so what is clutter? It's really simple to me. Clutter is just undecided where the home is for an item. Because when you know where something goes, then it's easier to find it. And that's one of the things that causes stress. I can't find it. And this is a challenge, like we were talking before the live stream on Facebook started, is that they went through the depression. Like my dad is a clutter bug. You know, we laugh and joke and says he has the first nail he ever pounded as a carpenter because he came from a family of 12 kids and went through depression. Well, can you imagine that family trying to feed 12 kids? And his, you know, you use everything. Like if you notice, I'm always drinking out of mason jars. I don't think that's a country thing. I think that's a learned behavior from my family that was poor. Yeah. So this is what we want you to do, is understand that frequency and vibration is coming from our mind. We are the worst demon that hurts ourselves is our mind. And clutter is one of those things that makes it so life doesn't flow for you smoothly. Okay, so why does clutter return? They should say why. Because you don't have a system of what to do. And that's what we teach you, because I'm a checklist person, and if you tell me what to do, I can do it. But see, you make mistakes. Now, right now, I'm like, I should correct that. I should. Stop shooting on yourself. Okay, clutter overloads your mind. How many have excessive clutter And what it does is it causes our senses to work overtime on things that are not important or necessary. Like, is it really important in your life if you're thinking about it? Oh my, I really need to go fold those clothes sitting in the laundry basket and put them away. Oh, I got to do the dishes. That's one thing I do is I immediately do my dishes. I can't stand waking up to a dirty sink. Last night I was really tired, I'm going to say. It was hot in Minnesota. We hit almost 90. And we're on a lake and everyone's freaking out how hot it is. They're like, you need to go inside. It's like, I lived in Dallas, Texas. This is a beautiful spring day for them. But it was so hot and I was getting just running around. I had to mow the lawn, shop, cook, because we have a big family reunion. But if I wouldn't have my checklist and been organized, I would have been constantly swirling. What does clutter do? It distracts you. When you're surrounded by clutter, it draws our attention away from what we really want to focus on and should be focused on. So right here, a lot of people have issues. They go, I just can't get in the flow. I can't get my creative juices going. Like if you want to write a book or something or create a program. And then I say, take a snapshot of what's going on in your space. And you're like, yeah. And especially as we know, horizontal clutter is worse. Like if you have clutter, at least start piling it up vertically, because horizontal clutter clutters your mind that much more. We're computers and we're trying to download all this stuff, guys. Clutter creates anxiousness, the thought of, will I ever get through these piles of things? Because they're really not sure what the result will be, because most people that have had clutter for a long time. Let's talk about frequency and vibration for a second. We know everything is energy in the universe. That's one of the 4 principles in feng shui. So if you are used to living in a cluttered environment, then your vibration is lower and heavier. If you've ever walked into someone's house and gone, ugh, I just feel tired or anxious or anxiety, they probably have a lot of clutter. And clutter can be something like lots of knickknacks or people that have walls with photos everywhere. You're like, it's not a calming environment. So we don't want to create anxiousness because this is a health issue. And feng shui is all about health and wealth, okay? About living a healthy life, because if you're healthy, you're wealthy. And what does anxiety do? It increases your blood pressure and gets you all nervous and creates anxiety. So that's why we cover clutter. I can't say it was ever one of my favorite issues, but it was the #1 thing besides money people wanted. And this is one of the reasons they don't have money. And I want you to also understand, if I've worked with like hoarders and people with a ton of clutter, and they actually go into anxiety for a little bit when they start decluttering, because why? It changes the frequency of the environment. And they're used to vibrating down here, and suddenly they're vibrating higher and it feels uncomfortable. But that's why I'm like, oh, I love to play music. I just had forgot it was playing in the background, because I'm always playing esophageal frequency music to calm me down, because I have a lot going on, don't I, Catherine? Hey guys on Facebook, peace and love. Share this out, please. We'd appreciate you. Let me see. Swipe left to see your viewers. Well, why wouldn't you just show them to me? Oh, we love Facebook. I happen to be a geek too, as Catherine will tell you. Okay, Clutter says your work is never done, and this is just plain exhausting to your mind and your body and your spirit. It creates overwhelm and lack of self-esteem, and that is no fun at all. Lack of self-esteem, like there's no way I want to bring anyone over to my house. You know, there's no way that, you know, I'm worthy. And this is a big thing. People have a lot of money issues with clutter. But clutter doesn't, money doesn't flow where it's not welcome. So I want you to think about, how do you think about money? And especially if you've got clutter in your wealth area, you're just telling the universe, stop, don't send it to me. And then your mind starts playing tricks on you and running like a gerbil, and you're like, go into fear. And how do you manifest things? Law of attraction, to me, is feng shui and the 3 secrets of reinforcement. So people that are in debt tend to stay in debt because they're worried all the time about money, and they're checking their bank balance, and They're like, oh no, I go to the mailbox and I have another bill and I don't know how I'm going to pay it. And the big thing you can do is surround yourself with a good group of people who will support you when those thoughts come in your head. And the other one is to really visualize the money coming in and that you deserve it, which can be hard at first. I like to visualize when I breathe that I'm at the bank and everyone's like, yay, there she is again with her great big wad of deposit of cash. And now she can go on a vacation, buy a car, do whatever she wants. You have to welcome money in. Okay, I wanted to give you a few testimonials because what I'm offering today is we're going to talk more, but I don't know how that testimonial, I moved it around, I guess. Clutter creates feelings of guilt. This is the should-haves. Stop shooting on yourself. If you're Catholic or if you have a family, they'll give you the guilt trip, okay? You do not need to do it yourself. I was raised Catholic, so I can say that. Clutter is frustrating. Unable to locate an item. How many of you have been ready, like you have to go on an appointment, you can't find a file? Oh, I need my car keys to get to an appointment and I can't find them. Ugh. Anger, frustration, your blood pressure goes up. So that's a health issue. You get a headache, you can't think clear, and then you're angry and snapping at others. Does this sound familiar to anybody? Yeah, a couple of you. Okay, clutter prevents creativity. I can tell you to go sit in the creative area of your home, but if it's surrounded with clutter, then you can't open up to the flow. And that's where you want to go and sit in your house or your room, which if you look at your Bagua, and it's a tic-tac-toe grid, it's the middle right. That's the energy of creativity and all things that come out of you. That's why it's called creativity in children, because it's things that come out of you. You just can't get in the flow, so guess what? You're not being productive. When you're not productive, guess what happens? You get angry, frustrated. You know, these challenges we're creating ourselves. So we're going to talk after this, but for those of you that are watching right now, I want to go back to the testimonials because I'm offering a room-by-room class that starts on Monday the 17th. And so I'm going to read through just a couple of these. And honestly, guys, I was never going to teach this class again. I've done 2 rounds. This is round 3. Once you're in my classes, you can retake the class over and over, which I find in a clutter class is wonderful because they tend not to always, the first time, get the system down and get the clutter out. So every time, because everything is energy, guys, and everything's moving. That's the yin and the yang. So let me read a couple of these testimonials. It says, I've been practicing feng shui for quite a while and have a number of different instructors. Brenny over-delivers with information and instructions. The group is supportive as well as me. You can get help. You just need to ask. And I have a wonderful, fun approach, and I'm unique. Yeah, my family calls it crazy. I call it I'm unique and interesting. Thanks, Anne, for that. She's an awesome student, takes a lot of classes from me. Now we got Margot. Says, I've thoroughly enjoyed the declutter class with Brenny. She gives so much useful information. I've definitely come a long way with decluttering. I couldn't have done it without her. I feel so comfortable opening up and being honest with where I'm at with clutter. I gave her pictures and she never judged me. She only has helped me. I recommend anyone with clutter issues take her class. She did have a lot of clutter, and she was a person that tended to reclutter in the same spot. And what that means is she didn't have a system. So for example, if you have a lot of clutter around your front door, well, we know, Catherine, what would you say about clutter around your front door? What's happening there? You don't have your mic on, honey.
Sorry, there's construction outside again today. So yes, the question, the career section is at your front door most of the time. So that means that you might have problem with your life path and your goals. So this is why very, very important to keep that front entrance unblocked.
And guys, your front door is where your energy enters your home and you're setting the stage.
Yeah. Make sure the door opens wide, wide, wide. And that's your mouth of chi. entrance right to into your house. So it's very, very important to keep that exchange working.
So let's think about if you have clutter around your front door and you can't get it open and it only opens part way. Do you think you just came in with a little frustration? So what energy did you bring in? Oh, dang clutter. Clutter.
Somebody should clean up.
So it's already in your mind. So then you come in and you have angry, frustrated energy. You're feeling overwhelmed again because it's the same thing over and over. So what you want to do is create a system. And it's really simple things. And I use lots of pictures in class because I'm visual and I don't like lots of words. That's why I love reading kids' books. It's like, oh, yay, a big picture. That's one way to shift energy, color, pictures, all that fun stuff. And we go through all the ways to shift energy. Like I play music all the time because it impacts my body, my chakras. And feng shui is about, there's 3 lucks in feng shui. One is your heaven luck, which is all your gifts and talents that God gives you. You're a singer or you're not. You know, you're an athlete or you're not. And then we have the next one is all the choices you make. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Like in this class, what I love about it is people openly upload their pictures and they help others by doing it because they go, oh, wow, she's really got a cluttered laundry room. I guess I can show my picture. And then, and then it's feng shui. Everything impacts you. What is impacting your body? Because we can stay healthy and live for a long time, but by the impact of things around us, and not just clutter, guys, we're talking a lot about now electromagnetic fields because technology has really bombarded people. Okay, I want to go through one more. The room by room class, they're a blast. We have a great group of people that are online, live to chat and ask questions. At first I was shy. This is really true. This person is really shy. And I was shy to be seen by others, but it was so friendly and fun. I look forward to class each week. Every week, Brenny has a new area of your home to tackle in a vivacious, fun talk, as only Brenny can do. I encourage everyone to come join us if you need help with your home. Thank you, Brenny, for a wonderful experience. Suzanne, we've been working with, she loves books. Anybody out there love books? Anybody have too many books? So it helps me as I go through the classes. I do exactly what everybody else does and fine tune and tweak my stuff. Let's talk about books just for a minute. I had sent a newsletter out recently because I also have a drip email that you get one day for 18 days for areas to work on for those that, you know, don't want to get into a live class. Everyone likes to study different. And one is about books. And when you have books, it's the old you. New information can't come in. So you want to learn from it, but then you want to release it and give it to somebody else. Now, I use a lot of reference books in feng shui because it's not something you just take a class and we remember a lot, but I go back and reference the many books a lot. Do you do that, Catherine? Are you referencing books? So when you look at your books, take a look at this. Is it who you are now, who you want to be? Is it the past you or the future you? And I want to constantly have, you know, an upgrade in life going on. So I want to release those books. I live in a really small town in Minnesota. We don't have a half-price books. I got to travel about 150 miles, but then that's an excuse to go visit my nephew in the cities. But guys, you can make money selling books. You just take them to half-price books and they look and they say, okay, I'll give you this much money for all your books. You can take electronic stuff in there too, like if you guys have phonographs, old record players, that kind of stuff, and records. So we release it, and you don't have to have a garage sale if you don't want to. But if you have a ton of clutter, you might as well make some money, baby. And if not, then you pay a teenager to sit there and text on their phone and take cash from people. So I'm inviting you to this room by room class. And I bring in experts also. So when we get into it, I allow people to come in. Like Catherine can come in because she does clutter quizzes and she really helps people a lot too. So this is the room by room declutter class page. We're starting the 17th, so we got 10 days until we start. Let's put a bunch of people in the class because the more people we help, the better the earth and vibration is. So why would you want to take a room by room organization class? Because I would rather be kayaking than dusting knickknacks. One day I said, what did everybody do today? And people were like, oh, I was cleaning. I dust around all these knickknacks. And I'm like, I'm kayaking because I don't. So cleaning and organization, you know, how do you want to spend your free time? I don't want to be in a house. I want to be on a lake or biking outside in nature. Clarity and energy. I always have a lot of energy. People comment on that, and part of it may be because I don't have a lot of clutter. It drains your energy, it creates confusion, and it messes with the creative flow. Guys, your creative flow is your zest for life. That's when you get downloads or whatever you want to say. It's connection to source saying, here we go, we're in the flow. And that's what we want, things to flow, not stop completely or even slow you down. And you get what you want. When you get rid of things you don't use or need or want, you open up for the things to show up for you that you do want. So you can take a look at this more if you're interested in joining our fun class. We're going to do them Mondays at noon because that way you have all week to get set up and started for the weekend blitz you'll do. I have two options because I like to accommodate everybody. One is you can pay straight up $200, and that saves you $25. Other way, if you're ready for freedom but you're on a little bit of a budget, $25 a week for 9 weeks. And this is what's in the program. We cover front entrances. And as Catherine was saying, this is vitally important. This is the energy you bring into your house, your property. Because that also, you know, there's exterior feng shui too, people. You can have a beautiful house inside, but if all your paint's peeling and you got weeds growing in your garden, I mean, that's not great energy because you pull up and you're like, oh, I got to do that. I got to do that. We want to get rid of the, I got to do that, that, and that. We want to go, yeah. So when you declutter and you're creative and things are flowing and more money's coming in, you can be good and pay people to do the things you don't want to do. Now, I know I'm kind of a little different, but like I actually like mowing the lawn. It's like, I like doing that. And I do it for my neighbors. Like my neighbor at the cabin's been gone. And yesterday, I probably shouldn't have done that at 90 degrees. But I mowed his lawn because they haven't been up for a while from the cities. And I wanted it to look nice for him. One day he goes, you don't have to do that. And I go, well, that's bad feng shui to pull into the lake and you want to relax. And you're like, ow, geez, I got a hayfield growing. I got to go mow the lawn. And I find it relaxing if it's not 90 degrees. That's hot for us in Minnesota. Texans are laughing because in Minnesota, they're like, go make sure the elderly have water, stay out of the sun. And here we're like, in Texas, like, oh, what a nice breeze. I'm going to go put a sweatshirt on. We're walking around in swimsuits and they got sweatshirts on and hats. I guess they don't want to show up at 20 below, which I love cold weather. Okay, so bedrooms, we want you to rejuvenate and recharge. This is your area where you really need to get your rest so you're not snapping, you're not angry, and you make smart choices. The thing about clutter is when you have clutter, you're probably not making the smartest choices because your brain is overwhelmed. And then that creates more challenges and frustrations in your life. Closets are a big thing, guys. That's what I'm seeing a lot of. And that's one of the harder ones, but we may spend I do extra classes if we have big clutter. So I know garages are a big thing. That's why I'm doing this class, is I had a student say, I got family in town and we want to declutter the garage. And one of them's kind of like, well, I don't know. And it's like, if you follow me, you know, my parents sold their house and all of a sudden I open my garage door and I'm like, I got a truck, a snowmobile, and a saw, and all kinds of stuff. And I do get an overwhelm. That's why I'm like, I got to clear that garage out. because I don't like opening a garage door and seeing a mess. I like it. Okay, the kitchen, the heart of the home. How much stuff you have on your countertops that you don't need or don't use. If you use your coffee pot every day, leave your coffee pot out. But I go to people's homes and it's like, I don't even know how you can cut anything on that cupboard because there's so much junk on the cupboard. So we really want to make sure to take a look at that and have good lighting. You know, don't you feel warm and fuzzy when you look at people's homes and they have those little lights under the cupboards? I love lights. Like if you could see in my wealth area, I have a light and it has Christmas lights on it. And when I plug it in, I'm calling in wealth and abundance of all kinds. Wealth and abundance is freedom to me. If you say, what is wealth? I'd say freedom. Okay. And another reason you want your home, your kitchen, the heart of the home, not a mess, is your cooking. And you want the energy going into your food. Like my nephew always said, you're such a great cook. Well, I always put my intention into cooking with love. And it's like, it's chicken with salt and pepper in a crock pot. I mean, how great of a cook am I? Feng shui tip, boom. Okay, living room or gathering room, as I like to call it. This is your indoor entertainment room for family and friends. And maybe you don't have any family and friends if you have clutter there because you never invite people over. So you're stopping the joy in life of having some fun. Bathrooms. Can't say my favorite room because we owned a motel and guess what I got to do? Scrub bathrooms. And when people are in a motel, they don't really care how neat they keep it. So that's not my favorite one, but bathrooms for cleanliness and financial increase. Catherine, why would you have financial increase when you have a clean bathroom and you keep the toilet seat down and you have like maybe a bamboo that spirals up on the back of your toilet? What does that have to do with money?
Well, you know, Brenny, the water represents money. So every time you have a big flush, there's a little bit more going out the window there. So it's very, very important. I mean, obviously, this is how our society works. We put everything behind closed doors. But you got
as a feng shui person, we know you do it because we can read and feel energy. And I'm like,
that's right.
Everything in the closet.
Check your taps that they're not leaking. Check, you know, the shower's not dripping, and keep that toilet seat down. I can't tell you how many homes I've been in that I just very discreetly walk through and shut the toilet seat down.
God,
you know what? I don't get it. You're looking into this hole that you don't even
nasty
there. Why would
go down there? Yeah, women did not put the toilet seat down. They just reinforce what God said. Hey, that's a nasty hole. Close it down.
Close it up.
I personally don't understand that one either. And some people are like, oh, I don't understand. It's not a big deal. I had a student that was like going, I think you make too much about the bathrooms being clean. And I said, good, go eat a sandwich in there then, if you think it's not a big deal. Kind of, yeah, that's how I felt about it. So when she's talking about water, I just feel guided to talk about this a little bit more. And I'll give you an example. I like stories because that's how I remember things. So I teach how I learn. And I try to do all types of teaching, as Catherine and I were talking, verbal, visual, and, you know, so you can read. So I had a leaky water tap outside my back door, which was in my fame and reputation area. And that's not good because that's a direct sector across from wealth and your career area. So this is how it goes. If you have a great reputation, your journey in life is going to be easier. And it would like drip away at things, like people would pick on me for little things that I didn't deserve or do. And then I'm like, money, it was impacting my money. It was like my money was dripping away. No matter how much I made, it just seemed to slowly drip away. So it depends on what sector it's in. And when we're talking toilets and sinks, we're talking about an energy that goes down. So that's why we want to counteract that. That's why I said put a lighthouse or bamboo. I've only met one person can kill bamboo in water. Don't know how that happens. But that's a counter, you know, so you got something that goes up on the back of the toilet instead of the vortex going down. And guys, this is how feng shui works. It's energy. Everything is energy. So whether you believe in it or not, it works. And then when you believe in it and put your emotions into it, like we were talking at the beginning of class, where, you know, you put your emotions into, oh no, bills are coming. Wherever you really put your emotions, that's where the manifestations occur. That's why we want to shift your mindset, surround you with positive people so that you can have that vibration of wealth, abundance, and all good blessings, and have a support system. That's a big, big thing, even as an entrepreneur, isn't it, Catherine?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
We talk often, Catherine and I do, because it boosts us as entrepreneurs to stay motivated and focused on what we want to be doing instead of getting sidetracked, because you can chase shiny objects like a crazy fool. Been there, done that, and it's like, okay, I had to stop and say, is this a money-making productive activity for me? Yeah. Or am I just helping others for free all the time? Mm-hmm. Can't do that. You got to help each other. And that's the exchange of energy. If you study any spirituality, equal exchange of it. Oh, a hummingbird just flew by. I love it. That's freedom in motion. See, they're saying get decluttered so you're free and can fly free and be happy.
It's a good slogan.
It is. Hummingbirds are one of my favorites. I plant flowers that attract hummingbirds and butterflies, because then I look out and it's like I'm never really working. Catherine knows I live in the woods, and it's like I'll have deers walk up and look in my window. So that's what makes me happy. But I'm a wood element, green, obviously. Okay, so let's go to laundry rooms. Now, this is one that I was surprised at how many people have cluttered laundry rooms and frustration. So I include the entire family. Like, I have some people, and it's like you wash all your kids' clothes, fold them, and put them away and pick them up off their floor. And they're like, you don't have kids. I don't need to have kids to know I'm not doing it. I've helped raise a lot of kids, and I had a nephew, and it's like, okay, at least put this pile's dirty. This one's been worn once and could be worn again. And pew, I'm a boy and this stinks, and there's no way I should ever put that on again. Then don't overstock the washer. This is how you do it. I find if you give step-by-step instructions, they get it. You can't assume people understand anything, because that actually stands for ask of you and me. If you spell out assume, people are like, well, I assumed you wanted that. Well, no, I don't. Oh, went under a cloud. Can you tell it kind of got dark in here?
Yes.
Okay, garages. Eek. And attics and basement. This is where you pay to store your clutter. I cannot tell you how many people park their cars outside, the second biggest investment probably in their life. They park them outside and store all this junk they're never going to look at again in their garage. Yeah. And especially in the wintertime in Minnesota, you're like, really? Are you ever going to use those little stuffed animals that your kids had and all that old stuff like that don't work? I was decluttering the garage yesterday at our cabin, not that I wanted to, but I'm like, oh my gosh, my brother-in-law just leaves all these dead tubes there because we tube all the time. It's like, and then like my dad had these cranks that you put the garden hoses on. 3 of them were broken. So what did that do? Oh, heck, frustration. Let me carry another one in this heat wave and hook it up, and it doesn't work. Throw it away. Get rid of it. Take it to a recycle shop. Do something. Bury it. Burn it. I don't care. Can you tell it irritated me? But here's what happened. So my dad and I are trying to get a table out, and I'm using some French language out of frustration, but he actually cut his hand really bad because there was so much clutter, and he tried to grab onto something and it was sharp and it cut his hand. And it shouldn't have been there, because why would you have a light fixture with those big long tubes laying on top of tubes that you tube out behind a boat? So shame, karma to my brother-in-law for doing that. Okay, so take a look at how much you're storing to for clutter. And I can tell you something, that I actually have a class that I taught locally here, that anyone who gets in the class, if you want to find out how much you're spending on clutter, we go through and look at the percentage of clutter in each room, including your garage. And then we take that and we multiply it after we figure the formula out. So you say, I got this is what my monthly mortgage is, and I'm this percent clutter, and you take the percentage times your mortgage, and it's like when people see, and then it gets better, they have storage units they're paying for, rent U-Hauls. So it's like, do you love it? Do you use it or get rid of it? And I'm going to tell you, once you get organized and get rid of stuff, you're like, how did I ever live like that? But it's not your fault. You just don't have the tools, because nobody taught my grandparents, you know, how to deal with clutter, or my parents, you know. And now we have electronic clutter. How many of you have electronic clutter or bill clutter? Man, did somebody get paid to create more junk mail? I sign up for no junk mail, and I swear it tripled. And it's like, you just take it and throw it in the garbage, or, you know, put it in your burn pile. Doesn't make sense to me. You tree killers, that's the lungs of the planet.
Yes.
So guys, this is how I teach, and this is who I am. Catherine, did you want to go through some questions that your students have sent in on clutter?
I've got a couple of ones that came in this morning, Brittany, if you want to answer them. One of them wants to know what to do with her wedding photos from 10 years ago. Is she supposed to throw them out, or is she supposed to continue to display them? I have my own answer, but what's your answer?
Well, is she divorced or happily married? If you're divorced, we actually had a shredding party. See you later.
I would assume that if she was divorced, that the question wouldn't come forward.
Well, here's my thing is, people don't want to get rid of it because they're like, well, I spent this much money on all the wedding photos. And it's like, okay, but by keeping those, he's irritating you every time you look at it. That's not great energy. Are you going to display it proudly and say, hey, look, I was married to this jackass? No, you're not. So all it's doing is taking up space, and it's in your mind. So I say have fun getting rid of it. I have more fun shredding stuff than you.
But if you're happily married and, you know, there's still
display them in
the happiest day of their life.
Right.
They want a memento. So where would you suggest that she put the picture?
I would put that in the partnership area, and you could put it in your overall house or in your bedroom, because it's loving feelings of you with your loved one.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking of family, because family is also your heritage and your line. And that would be, because it's 10 years old, that it might fit into that heritage section too. What do you think of that?
I guess it doesn't resonate so much with me, because I'm thinking of partnerships joined forever.
Okay.
So I would want a strong relationship area. But what your intention is, so her intention, she's saying, is they're joined together and going to create a family. The family area is definitely an area you put pictures of your kids, not in your bedroom. You don't want your kids
watching. I don't want that. No, I get it.
Oh, we walk into bedrooms and see, like, okay, you got a big, beautiful picture of your mother-in-law staring at you when you wake up. I don't like that for a vision wall. Not my ex. Woo!
We could talk about wall images next week then.
Okay, guys, so this is what we're talking about. When you sit up in bed, that is called your vision wall. The first thing you see and the last thing you see when you go to bed. What is it? Is it a good picture or is it not? Okay, any more questions?
Is there anybody on Facebook with a question, or I can give you another question?
Give me another question, because they're not being active. A lot of people like to watch it and they get scared to comment, which I don't understand, but that's fine.
I have another question that came in this morning too, and it says, they're going to have to, how do we start to clean out my parents' home?
I just went through that a few years ago.
I thought you'd like this one. Is there a place to start? There's quite a description here, but is there a place they can start, Brenny? What would you suggest?
Do you mean a specific room? I would start with the bigger items first and get rid of them so you create more flow. So like if, let's say, they're going to get rid of these big, heavy dressers from the old days and stuff, that kind of stuff, I'd release that first, because then you start the energy of clearing and you have more space. And I also say put some good music on while you're decluttering. And if you want to have a margarita, that's fine. That's how I declutter. I like to have fun. I put on jazz and music, not slow, depressing music. Mine's like get up and go, and it's like boop, boop. And guys, the rule is simple. Do you love it? Do you use it? Or get rid of it?
I was asked about a year ago to go into a home to feng shui for staging, selling their parents' home, and the 4 kids were there kind of arguing what they were going to do. And so this is kind of an interesting question that may relate to this as well too. And they were all wondering, what's she going to say, and they were not really worried, but some of the people wanted to keep the furniture in there to make it look like there was furniture in there to sell the house. The other people wanted to get rid of the furniture. But I went through with my wand, my dowsing rod, and there was some weirdness in the back bedroom. And I thought, well, that's interesting. And they pushed the bed under the window, which isn't good. And the sheets and the pillows were all flat. And, I thought, what the heck happened in this room? And there was also weirdness over in the living room. And I thought, what's that about? My dowsing rod kept going back in there. And I asked them, I thought, well, was this the liquor cabinet? Because it's setting off a vibe. And they said, well, actually, that's where Mom's ashes were until about an hour before you got here. And I thought, well, you wonder why you're not going to be able to sell the house either. And another girl says, oh, well, she died in that back bedroom.
Okay, guys, so we douse in feng shui.
Get back that predecessor chi stuff, clear the energy, get it nice and fresh, and move on. Just what Brenny says, just shift that energy. You know already what you need to do.
People feel energy. If you don't feel calm and smooth, if you get that gut instinct, always go with your gut instinct, because that's when God punches you in the stomach. They're not listening. I hit her over the head with a fry pan. She's still not listening. I'll punch her in the gut and she'll go, oh, wait a minute, my gut's tight. I can tell you every time I have not gone with my gut instinct, it's created a lot of havoc in my life and put me in situations I don't want to be in. So I had a student, and she said she went to, it was really weird that suddenly her ex-husband wanted her to come in to get the kids.
Yes.
And her gut instinct told her no. And he was planning to kidnap her and do nasty things to her, duct tape, ropes, all this stuff, because there's crazy people in the world. So this is how you want to stay connected to source. You want to get outside in nature as much as possible. Obviously declutter, but I find this is what my morning routine is I open up with gratitude. And it's as simple as opening your eyes and saying, oh God, I love you so much. Thank you for, this, and this. And then I think of anyone who irritates me in any way, and I send them love. I send myself love, because I can get frustrated and then I feel bad later if I snapped at someone. So I send myself love for being a good person. And then when you meditate and breathe, you're connecting to source. So even if you close your eyes and breathe deep for 5 minutes, and then I ask God to give me direction for my day and for me to be aware of it and be in the now. Because often we ask for things or pray for things and God puts them right in front of us, but we're too not in the now, too much clutter to go on to even see or feel what we should be doing. So I really think we create so much havoc in our lives, and it can be simple. I love nature. And if you can get your feet on the ground, especially women, it just will pull all that energy out. I go sit in the chair in the sun with all the hummingbirds and butterflies, and I just breathe deep and put my feet on the ground sometimes. And then I'm like, Oh God, can you give me direction for the day and let me see it? Let me be aware of it. Okay, you're not going to see those opportunities if your fame area is full of clutter or at an imbalance, which means it's a fire element. And if everything in there's water, if that's a bathroom and you got lots of showers and your toilet seat up and the color's blue, you know, that's not, we want the energy to be as strong as possible. So feng shui works in a couple ways, subjective and objective. So it works on an overall health level, or we go and look exactly if you have a health issue, because each sector, what the Bagua energy map is to me is it's your life. You look in there and every sector of your life, every sector of your business in there, your chakras in there, your body parts are in there. So if you have an ailment, a health issue, that's what I look at in feng shui. And I actually do a membership group called Holistic Wisdom, and we use vibrational medicine, we use music, we use aromatherapy, we use crystals, and we use your chakras. We play certain notes for the chakras. So feng shui is a lot more, and there's a butterfly. Yay! So feng shui is a lot more than just moving furniture around. And when you get in classes with me, I mean, I stay till everyone's questions are answered, and you can see how much information we can get to, because my goal is to assist people to have the best life possible, to be doing the, if you want to call it, job that they're meant to do on this planet. Because when you're in your flow, you're never working. That's how I feel about it. Like, this is not work to me. This is like, oh, cool, Brenny gets to go have fun and help people. Woo! And share her knowledge. Yeah. So, boy, that is one of the prettiest butterflies. It's a black and white one. Great big one. I've never seen one like that before. Oh, black and white. Everything's not black and white, people. But that's money. So black is water and white is metal. So that's decluttering and having clarity so that things flow in. That's what that butterfly says to me. And you're changing into a butterfly as we declutter. Maybe the butterfly will be my symbol for the room by room class. Okay. And then you can have a hummingbird, of course, because you're free to fly. Any other questions? They're shy on Facebook today, but thanks for popping in, you guys. I can see you and I appreciate you. So please like this, comment if you have any questions before, like right now or when the replay's on. I will answer them. We go out and watch them. You can private message me if you have questions about the class or anything at all. I'm very approachable. And share this out, because if you know anyone who needs help with decluttering, I'm here to help them. In a fun way. Woo! How many people tell you to go drink a margarita and put music on to get your life in order? Are there any questions you want me to answer? Did anybody else send messages in for you, Catherine?
There's a couple things that I'll look at, not necessarily related just to the clutter. So I'll look after those. And but it's been a great hour.
Woo-hoo! We like to honor the time,
for inviting me to join you.
I don't like 2-hour webinars, but an hour flies by really quick when you're, I can't believe it's been an hour. So we're going to say thank you. And remember, the replay of all the shows are on the Feng Shui Friday page, which here is how you can sign up for the newsletter. Yeah. So you go here, and all the replay is going to go up right in here. It'll just be click and watch. So thanks, everybody, for showing up. If you're interested, please get in the class. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not kidding you. We have fun. Like, fun decluttering. Ugh. And you can just go to the Feng Shui Friday page, and I got a link right here where you can click on it. It'll take you to the room by room organization. If you want us to cover a specific subject on Fridays, if you want me to interview a specific person, send me a message. That's what it's all about. I have no fear of working with or interviewing others, and I do every school of Feng Shui. So if you have somebody you want me to interview, send me a message and we'll get them on here. If you have a specific subject, like one of my favorite subjects is electromagnetic fields. That's why I've probably interviewed Werner Brandemeyer
a lot,
10 times, because he's so packed with information. And he actually, his wife got cancer, and that's how he started on his journey in Austria. So, you know, pay attention and say, hey, this ain't working out. Maybe that's your career path. You never know. And Werner, guys, what he is he's a guy who has lots of tools to help you with the bombardment of electromagnetic fields, which isn't just electronics. We also have noxious energy that runs under the earth. So if you're not sleeping, we do dowsing, but he also has tools to block that energy. I also work with Sean Zenja, and he does crystal grids to break up energy. So we have lots of fun ways. And guess what? You don't have to have a big red fish hanging in your to do feng shui. If you like it, great. But we can shift energy. There's 9 ways to shift energy. And this is the stuff you learn in my class, because I don't just say go declutter that and create a system. I'm like, I take a look at everybody's bagua and make sure the energy grid's complete. And we use that in class all the time. So it's like you're getting a free consult constantly. So thanks again, guys. Thank you, Facebook. I appreciate you showing up. Peace and love to everybody, and we'll see you next Friday.
Yes.
I'm going to end the recording here. Bing.
All kinds of stuff.
Okay, so we're live on Facebook. We're going to try that. Okay, let me see what happens, guys.